Hi, I want to welcome everybody to the Medina City Schools Board of Education meeting. This is a meeting for the Board of Education and public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public comment during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Let's all rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Chambers, will you do roll call, please?
Mr. Early.
Here.
Mr. Hare.
Here.
Mr. West.
Here.
Ms. Pritchard.
Here.
Ms. Smoyer.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. So we need, hopefully everybody's looked through the meeting minutes from the rescheduled regular meeting of February 25th and the special meeting workshop or work session of March 3rd. Can we have somebody to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 25th and March 3rd.
Anybody second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Hare. Mrs. Pritchard? Any questions, comments? No. Roll call?
Ms. Pritchard.
Aye.
Mr. Hare.
Aye.
Mr. Early.
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Ms. Smoyer.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. And are there any additions, removals, or modifications to the agenda? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Anybody second?
I'll make a second.
Thank you, Mr. West and Ms. Pritchard.
Thank you. Mr. West.
Yes.
Ms. Pritchard.
Aye.
Ms. Drewley.
Aye.
Mr. Hare.
Aye.
Ms. Smoyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
Time for superintendent's communication.
Well, good evening, everyone. I see so much green out there. I'm going to mix up my section of the agenda a little bit because we've got special guests from our high school here this evening to share some exciting news, and so our board can offer congratulations as well. And I want to start with Dr. Tadona to talk about our speech and debate team, who, by the way, is on the agenda, and they're on their way to nationals soon.
Thank you for the opportunity to showcase our speech and debate team. Let them make their way up here. So each year, the National Speech and Debate Association recognizes one school from more than 100 competing districts for outstanding student participation in speech and debate. From over 4,000 member schools nationwide, I'm going to say it again, 4,000 nation schools throughout the whole nation outside of Ohio, leading chapters represent the top 3% of speech and debate programs in the country. Medina High School has been recognized as one of those leading chapters. Medina's speech and debate students also had an outstanding showing at the OSDA state tournament, where more than 200 students competed in congressional debate. Medina students placed in both the House and the Senate. So to highlight a few, in our Senate, Lincoln Marks earned first place. Again, state tournament. Holland Roller placed fifth. In the House, Kate Klein placed third, Kaylee Chalmers placed fourth, and Alicia Aldia placed fifth. Mason Hybert advanced to the semifinal chamber and finished 19th overall. Kaylee Chalmers was also recognized as the tournament's top presiding officer. In addition to these individual accomplishments, the team was honored with both the Excellence in Debate Award and the Excellence in Coaching Award, which I will speak more on in a moment here. Students have also distinguished themselves throughout their legislative writing. Addie Ma, Brinley Hare, and Maggie Woolney have authored more than 6 pieces of legislation that were selected for use at the Ohio Speech and Debate Association tournament. In addition, Kaylee Chalmers and Alicia Aldia each wrote legislation that was selected for the National Speech and Debate Tournament, a significant honor that highlights the strength of Medina's program. The Congressional Debate Team will look to build on the success at the upcoming national qualifier, where they will attempt to join teammates Ava Campbell and McKenna Gallagher, who have already qualified through the Public Forum National Qualifier. A great deal of this success is due to the leadership of Ms. Tiffany Nickel, whose work continues to elevate the program. Ms. Nickel is a recipient of the Donis D. Roberts Coaching Excellence Award, as well as the Linda Miller Award for Coaching Excellence. Both are prestigious honors recognizing exceptional contributions to speech and debate coaching. Her leadership is highly respected across the state, which is evident in her being selected to run the state tournament next year. Needless to say, Medina's speech and debate team is a powerful example of extraordinary opportunities and experience available to Medina High School. Thank you to our students and coach for representing Medina City Schools on such a large stage. I hope that you'll be on the lookout for the showcase that they will host at Medina High School in a few months. I hope to see you all there. And at this time, who I'm very grateful to speak before, I would like to welcome Lincoln Marks to share a little bit about his personal experience.
Hi, everybody. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Lincoln Marks. I'm a junior at the high school, and as of a few weeks ago, I'm the 2026 Ohio Speech and Debate Association's Congressional Debate Senate Final and Champion. That was a mouthful for me, so, but thank you. But as much as I love and will happily receive any and all attention from this accomplishment, I have to admit I have a little bit of imposter syndrome because I couldn't have done this without the work of my teammates. You see, it's because of the hard work of every single one of the people behind me that I get to stand before the Board of Education tonight and brag about our amazing program. And in true congressional debate style, I'll try to keep it just under 3 minutes. Now, being on the speech and debate team for 2 years now, I've learned a lot about the structure of our government, current real-world events, and how to question my opponents not so aggressively, which I'm still trying to work on, so sorry, Kate. But most importantly, I've learned a lot about myself and what it means to stick up for myself and others around me. Ask anyone on the speech and debate team, and I'm sure all will tell you that no other activity that makes you wake up at 5:30 on a Saturday morning and dress in full business attire will have a significant lasting impact on your life than speech and debate does. Seriously, never have I been more inspired and more in awe of my peers than when I get to play dress-up pretend congressman and hash it out in chamber with them. Now, I want to use my last of my 15 minutes of fame to thank those on the team who also should be up here congratulated on this state championship. Addie, Brinley, Maggie, and Jordan, thank you for creating legislation that always seems to end up on our dockets. I'm sure all of us appreciate those authorship speeches. Mason, Kate, Chloe, and Holland, thank you for always being a source of laughter and morale for the team. You uplift the spirits of everyone, even during hard competitions. Ava and McKenna for assisting in understanding legislation when you aren't even competing in the same event as the rest of us. Alicia, thank you for showing this team what true dedicated leadership is. Kaylee for always berating me to stop procrastinating prepping speeches. And most importantly, thank you to Miss Nickel for being the most amazing coach and mentor a debater could ask for, and especially for always telling us to, quote, lock in. Before I finish, I also want to quickly say that programs like speech and debate are only continue to succeed when community members support them. We're always looking for community members who are willing to volunteer as judges at our upcoming competitions. No debate experience required, just a willingness to listen and to help students grow. We're also constantly working to fundraise to keep our program accessible, cover tournament costs, and give more students the opportunity to compete. Thank you again for taking the time to recognize our team tonight and for supporting activities that give students a place to find their voice, challenge their ideas, and grow into more confident advocates. We're incredibly proud to represent Medina, and we hope to continue making our school and community proud in competitions to come. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Any questions for them?
I just love the back of his sweatshirt.
Thank you.
They're creative, too. Thank you, guys. Will you invite? Okay.
Now, I thank you to our speech and debate team. Our academic programming at our high school is second to none, and our speech and debate team is an example of that. the hard work of our teachers and our coaches in developing our students, allowing them to choose their pathways and directions that they want to go and have the kind of opportunities such as speech and debate is so vitally important. Next, I want to invite up our athletic director, Todd Hotke. We have some wrestlers here tonight to congratulate and recognize, especially Cliff, our newly crowned heavyweight 286 state champion. I did watch a wrestling match, and I don't know much about wrestling, but it was an exciting match.
Say the least. When we were asked to present, I didn't know I was going to be following the best speaker in the state of Ohio, so I'll try to be close to as good as Lincoln is. But congratulations to the speech and debate team and Lincoln. Miss Nickel is an amazing educator. I worked with her in Wellington, and when she came to Medina, was ecstatic, and she does a great job. And obviously, picking up from what Mr. Quaid had started as well with speech and debate. So again, congratulations to them for all their accomplishments. If you've never been to the state wrestling tournament in Columbus, you're missing out. It is probably, arguably, one of the best state championship tournaments that the state of Ohio and the OHSAA can put on. If you've never been, again, I encourage you to go. It's 3 days of excitement. Starts on Friday through Saturday, all the way until Sunday evening. And Sunday night is probably the spectacle of the weekend. And it was definitely a spectacle for the Medina fans on Sunday night, just a little bit after 8 o'clock. Wrestling is the toughest sport out there. I would argue that with all 27 sports that we have here at Medina. It's 6 minutes of nonstop activity. The sacrifice, the willpower, all the hard work that goes into it. There's no place to hide out there on the mat, and there's no one to blame but yourself. You are there mano a mano with another wrestler, and one person's going to come off that mat a winner and one person a loser. It reminds me, and I'll use speech here, Teddy Roosevelt's Man in the Arena speech. I think every time I think about Cliff and Tegan and Dom out there this weekend, the Man in the Arena kind of just rings in my head. Adversity is something that every athlete goes through, and we always talk as coaches, as educators, as mentors and parents, never give up. And that's kind of what this weekend, that's kind of the thesis statement of this weekend. And first and foremost, our state champion, Senior Cliff Nicholson, congratulations on his state championship in the 285-pound weight class. He is one of only 3 wrestlers in the history of Medina to be crowned a state champion. Jerry Lee was the first in 1977 at 185 pounds, and Mark Baylog was the last state champion in 1996 at 125 pounds. And Cliff, 30 years later, is now, will have his name in gold letters, as he said, just like the other 2. For a little bit of how the weekend went, Friday, there's a preliminary round, and Tegan, Dom, and Cliff all won their matches. And that's a great thing because they get to rest the rest of the evening. They get to go back and get ready for their quarterfinal match on Saturday afternoon, actually. They came back, and each of them also won on Saturday afternoon. So with winning 2 matches and going 2-0, you automatically get to stand on the podium. You have placed at the state tournament, which is an amazing accomplishment in itself. Tegan and Dom had tremendous weekends, and they won their first 2 matches. And they would win at least one more match, and that's what helped Tegan to earn his 4th place finish, and Dom to earn his 5th place finish. And Tegan, again, as a senior, he's had a couple controversial calls, I would say, in the past years that would prevent him from being at state, but he showed this weekend that he has state caliber wrestling in his blood, and that 4th place finish was well earned over these 4 years. Dom is only a sophomore, and his 5th place finish Dom's 2 for 2. He's been down at state as a freshman and as a sophomore. So I think a huge future still in the works for Dom. But the headline is Cliff. And Cliff, with the 285-pound champion, again, adversity and overcoming it and never giving up. In his semifinal match against Dublin Kaufman wrestler, he was trailing 5-1 early, but he never gave up. With an escape, a takedown, and another escape, he tied it up at 5-5. The Dublin Kaufman wrestler would escape himself to go up 6-5. And then again, as they were battling, 30 seconds left, Cliff put him on his back real quick. And it was a quick turnaround. And Cliff had been beating this kid up the entire match. He really had. I believe he was almost out of injury time, the other wrestler. But Cliff never looked beaten or down the way he wrestled during that match. And he would end up riding him out for 30 seconds and winning that match 10-6. And that's what propelled him into the championship match. In the championship match on Sunday night, he was wrestling a familiar foe in Jake Ernest of Wadsworth, a fellow Medina County wrestler who he's wrestled multiple times in his career. Again, he found himself down early. Ernest had a quick takedown, but he wasn't done. And again, he fought back to tie the match at 6-6. And the way it works is you get to choose what you're going to do in the last period. And if I'm not mistaken, Ernest picked to go down. So Ernest is down, Cliff's on top. So basically, Ernest gets out, he gets a point. And depending on how long that takes, that could be the point that wins the championship. Cliff's got to hang on for dear life and keep him on the ground to force overtime, basically. And he did that for most of the third period. But then late, with about 14 seconds left, I think Ernest was able to slip away. It might have even been 9 seconds, and it's like, uh-oh, it's 7-6. What's going to happen? 9 seconds left. Cliff went to work, and he took the kid down literally with like 1.5 seconds left on the clock, I think, when I looked. Put him on his back, and he's the state championship with a 9-7 score. Unbelievable. Again, if you watch that match, and we had a live stream. Don't tell the OHSA we did, but we had a live stream going on, and just amazing emotion flooded out from both the coaches, myself, Cliff, and everybody who was in the arena. It was amazing. Again, the man in the arena, and he was standing tall as a third Medina State champion in history. Unbelievable. We don't get to crown state champions all the time. It's not something that's just given out like a participation trophy or award. It is something that is earned, and it should be celebrated, and something that this entire community is and should be proud of. Cliff at the top of the podium, Dom and Tegan very close to the top of the podium. All three wrestlers this weekend helped Medina to a top 10 finish, 9th place out of 65 Division I schools that participated this weekend. It's an amazing accomplishment with only 3 wrestlers who qualified for the state tournament. Others had more wrestlers there, and these 3 compiled enough points to become 9th in the state of Ohio at Division I. It's amazing. And they represented Medina admirably the entire time. There were some instances in the state tournaments this weekend that other schools, I think, would be shocked and appalled at. Not our wrestlers. They handled themselves with grace, sportsmanship, and the things that a culture of champions should. And it's great to see, and we're very proud of them. And I wouldn't do any justice. A huge shout out also to Coach Gilmore, Chad Gilmore, Coach Wade Chapman, Coach James Unger, and Coach Ryan Tomei, as they were there the entire weekend, have been there the entire season throughout the youth wrestling programming. They are there most of the time. So, again, so many people to congratulate, and an amazing accomplishment that we can all be a part of, and something that just amazing. Sorry. It's amazing. State champion. So I'd like to welcome Coach Gilmore up to the podium.
Thank you. I'm not really great at talking, but it's about wrestling, so I should be okay. First off, just thanks for all the support that we've always had. It's amazing. Mr. Hockey talked about adversity, and all three of these wrestlers had adversity from the year before. They all fell a little bit short of where they wanted to be, and we had goals set, and they had fantastic seasons. And, going into that week, we're like, hey, we can be top 10. We can do this as a team. We need bonus points, which is winning by bigger margins. And out of our 10 or 12 wins that we had, I think all but 2 were with bonus points, and that helped us get to the top 10, which was amazing. And each bracket, they had some definitely obstacles. Dom had a bracket with 3 returning state champs, and those 3 state champs were also 3 national champs. So he had a pretty tough bracket to go through, and he met the eventual state champ in the semis, wrestled him great, and then was able to bounce back and still take 5th. Tegan, in his quarters match, his second match, had the projected state champ who was ranked 13th in the nation, and he was able to beat him in the second round, and then fell about 30 seconds short in the state semis to just miss going to the state finals, and he was able to bounce back and take 4th. And then Cliff, in his semifinals match, had the projected champ, like Mr. Hockey said, it was a battle. He was able to win that, and then able to keep his head and competitive nature to beat an opponent that gave Cliff his only loss on the season. We lost to him earlier in the year. Cliff was able to beat him at districts, and then we got that amazing takedown at the end to win the state title. And as much as that was amazing to make top 10 and bring 3 guys and 3 placers and have a state champ, the amount of messages that we received from the community and everything was awesome. And one of the first people to message me was Mark Baylog. I knew him from high school. I used to train with him. He lives actually over in China right now, and he teaches English over there, and he was one of the first ones to message me saying congratulations. So that was pretty cool. But it doesn't happen without the support. I know we were loud in the wrestling room with the board office, and we smell it up a little bit, but you guys are nothing but great to us, and I want to thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't totally have a lot to say, but it's all I can say that I want to thank all my coaches for keeping me here in the sport. Because, it's hard to say or to think that I was a day away from leaving the sport this year. And becoming a state champion after finding passion in the sport and is a big achievement to be able to flip my mindset after my loss that I took in January and going on a path to get the state title. And just having a good atmosphere around me with my teammates and my coaches and continually pushing me to get better and get the best out of the season I can and future opportunities that may come. Thank you.
So, Cliff, I do have a quick question for you. So 1 day away from not wrestling this year to state champion, I hear you're going to BW to play football.
Yeah.
Wrestling in your college future?
That's what we're totally figuring out. There's a lot of good opportunities that are coming to me, and I have to kind of decipher through them and take what's best for my future. And I think it may be in the books. That's all I can say. It's exciting. A lot of big future for me, I feel. And I feel accomplished as a state champion, and as a freshman, not even making it to the district tournament, and now being a state champ is just to continually to keep going and keep pushing is a testament to myself.
Well, I'm very proud of you. I used to babysit Cliff, so he's my bud. So I am very glad, Mr. Hodke, that you went live, because I was able to watch it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is 285. You would put it down, and I'm like yelling to my husband, I'm like, Cliff is on. He's wrestling in the state champ. So I was so excited to watch the whole thing. I could tell how excited you were going back and forth. And Mr. Gilmore, your excitement was so enthusiastic. But Cliff, I'm so proud of you. You have done such a great job. I know you got to live up to your sister too, but you're
Yeah.
really outdoing her. I promise you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. And Tegan, it's good to see you doing well as well. And, our family. And nice to meet you as well. And I see a good future for you in wrestling, Mr. DiFilippo. Is that correct? All right. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm so glad that we got to hear your stories. So it's great.
Thank you.
Guys, we got an exciting strategic plan we're going to go through. Next up, I want to talk about and present our strategic plan. We've spent many months this past school year working with our students, our staff, our parents, our community leaders, and our community businesses in order to look at the direction that we want to go with the school district over the next several years. Our strategic planning process in our district is very important to us. It's not something that we just post on our website or hang on our walls. It's an actual plan with goals that we strive to meet and complete. It's developed collaboratively to ensure that our district is a representation of our community as well as our community's expectations for us. The strategic plan, we have a guiding North Star for our district, and that's something that we created in a similar collaborative fashion several years ago, and that's our Portrait of a Bee. What you will see as our central office administrative team goes through the plan is reflections of our Portrait of a Bee throughout the entire plan as we work on developing our students not only in academics, but also as people and citizens as well. That's also the case for our Portrait of an Educator. Our Portrait of an Educator, Craig, just so you know, I'm about 2 or 3 slides down. Our Portrait of an Educator, developed based off of our Portrait of a Bee. Also reflected throughout our strategic plan. These are qualities that we want to see in individuals that work within our districts with our student. So high expectations for the development of our students, also high expectations for our staff and development of our staff. It's important to note as our team goes through the plan this evening that we had a very specific goal with this plan. This is now, I think, my 3rd strategic plan that I've been able to be a part of in our school district. Previous plans really worked and looked at ways that we could really move our district forward to be a top district in the not only region, but the state and also the country. I can tell you in my collaborative efforts in working with other school districts and collaborating both at the state and national levels, that we are one of those districts. We are a district that other districts come to in order to see what we're doing so they can try and implement similar programming for the success of students within their schools as well. And that's reflected in the many presentations that our team, our teachers, our administrators have done over the course of the past school years. So this strategic plan, rather than being focused on change, is really focused on maintaining and improving. We've got great pillars in place for our school district that we've developed over the course of the last 2 strategic plans. This plan is about strengthening those pillars and creating more opportunities for our students. A key part of this strategic plan is really looking at a fresh look at our motto for the upcoming years. Every student, every day has been our district mantra or saying for almost 10 years, and it's something that we've lived by. We developed a new mantra, a new cry for moving forward, and that's preparing every bee to learn, lead, and thrive. So learn, lead, and thrive directly, again, relates to both of our portraits. And you'll see this being updated on our website, as well as all documents in the district, as well as the motto to help move us forward when we move through initiatives, whether it's celebrating successes or moving through challenges. And then our goal of student-centered education is empowering minds and expanding possibilities. So again, fits right in line with our portrait of a bee and our portrait of an educator as well, in providing ownership for our students in order to choose their direction and be responsible for their own education through us empowering them to do so. I'd like to welcome and invite Doreen Osmond up. We were able to work with the impact group through this process, which was vital to us in ensuring that we had a high-quality strategic plan that truly reflected our community as well as our students. Involving a third-party entity in the development allows for open conversations and sharing likes, dislikes, recommended directions for our district. And Doreen is going to talk about today how our plan was developed and what brought us to the final version that we're presenting to the board tonight.
Good evening, Madam President, Mr. Sable, and board members and community members. My name is Doreen Osmond. I work with the Impact Group, and I've been with the Impact Group for about the last 18 months, but I am a 35-year veteran of public education, so I'm excited to still work and connect with school districts. And like Mr. Sable just said, it is building on the strong foundation of what the Medina schools do and provide for their students, but also provide for their staff the learning environment. And so at the Impact Group, which is a firm based in Northeast Ohio, out of Hudson, Ohio, that serves school districts mostly in strategic planning and communications and also culture development. So our process that we like to do, and working collaboratively with the leadership of each district, is making sure that their stakeholders' voices are heard, and there's multiple opportunities to do that. So we start with a visioning process and a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And we did that with the leadership team, and we also did it with the Board of Education in an open session. I had the honor to be here in June and listen to the progress report of the previous strategic plan, which I think was an integral part of making sure that I fully understand the strong foundation that over the last 4 and 5 and 6 years. So this was a very great place, is a place to start of strength. And then we go into focus groups. The focus groups were based with students in both of the middle schools and then the high school. The focus group was, first of all, I love focus groups, but my favorite are the students. They're listening to their voice, hearing their feedback about what they're experiencing day to day makes a difference. You heard their voices tonight, whether it was the speech and debate team or the wrestlers, and how they had the environment to succeed. There was somebody in their corner, and that was something that was evident throughout the focus groups, especially with our students. And that is something to be proud of. Students recognize it. I worked very closely with the central office leadership team and the principals to make sure that the students that were part of those focus groups represented the student body. So, male, female, students that were thespians and mathletes and athletes, students that might not feel like they belong. So it was a great representation of students with disabilities, students who were gifted. So it was excellent. I actually used Medina as the model of how to get students involved in their focus groups. Also met with the staff at all the levels, and then parents and community, we had focus groups also, and then conducted interviews with community leaders. So if you think about your police and fire, your mayor and other community leaders, and trying to get that one-to-one perspective, and also it reinforces the importance of that partnership of city leaders, municipal leaders, community leaders to the schools. I am biased because of my background. I feel the school is the heart of a community, and it is. Medina schools are the heart of this community. Also, another way to get that community involvement are the surveys. And so we had a strong survey response with students in grades 7 through 12. Some sixth graders also took it. We had 150 staff responses, and then over 1,000 parents and community responses went into that. So what happens then is that we take all of those results, and there are themes that emerge, and those themes then become the goals and then the supporting objectives that I know that the team will be talking about. One of the questions I think that is really important is on each survey, for the staff survey and the community survey, this is the community survey, I'm highlighting the 10 top words that they associate with the Medina City Schools: good, caring, supportive, safe, excellent, great, engaged, community, inclusive, and big. It is. I mean, you can't hide from it. That's what it is. But there are ways that you are trying to make it a smaller community so every student has that sense of belonging. And then the staff, their words collectively were innovative, caring, supportive, engaging, inclusive, excellent, safe, committed, dedicated, and student-centered. All very important words, and all words that you can stand on as school board members, but also as a school community. It was an honor and privilege to work with your staff. You have excellent leaders in your principals, your superintendent, and I'm not sucking up, I promise, and your treasurer, and just amazing, really amazing people that care deeply, and your staff too. So I feel like I'm breaking up with the district, but you will have a special place in my heart, and I hope to cheer you on in any way possible. Thanks.
Next, Mrs. Cassidy.
Okay, our section tonight is Goal 1, Strengthen High-Quality Learning and Engagement for Every Student. And I'm really excited about our goals and our objectives because they really do, as Erin said, build on the work that we have been doing these past 10 years. So our first goal is all about our Deeper Learning Initiative. So what we've been working on so far is embedding Capstone into 5th grade, 8th grade, and in senior year. We've been working on getting our daily deeper learning experiences in classrooms every day. In the future, in the next 5 years, what we hope to work on is to expand Capstone. Right now, we've got Capstone in all 5th grade, all 8th grade. In a couple years, we'll have it, all seniors will be participating, and we'll also be working on Cornerstones, which are off year, so every year except 5th grade, 8th grade, and seniors, and it will help students lead up to their capstones. So those are the things we're going to be working on. We have project-based learning also going on in our classrooms, which is a form of deeper learning. We had 25 teachers that were trained last summer. We have another 25 teachers that are going to be trained this summer, so that's also very exciting for our deeper learning goal. The second objective is all about our career focus. Lisa has talked to you already about how our high school is moving into career pathways, and that's something that we are going to build on and expand on, and you're going to be hearing a lot more about in the coming months. We have our 5th grade capstone focused around career. We have Project Lead the Way going on at the middle schools. And we have our CEO course at the high school where kids can do internships for 40 hours. But but we're going to build on that. We're going to be adding in hopefully some more electives at the middle school to help students really explore pathways. We're going to be expanding our elementary and then again expanding our pathway program at the high school. So that's some exciting things to come. Our third, fourth, and sixth objectives all really kind of go together. So the third objective is all about strengthening what we know about good instruction in literacy, numeracy, and executive functioning. Differentiation, and then expanding higher level opportunities. So what we want to do is stay up to date on best practices. There's a lot of legislation coming about, we have RIMPS right now, which is where we're working with students on reading improvement plans. There's further legislation that's on the horizon that math may be coming. So we'll be having MIMPS as well. So differentiation is really important. And we are going to be doing that within our Deeper Learning initiative. We call it guidance support, that's all part of our Deeper Learning. So we'll be working on differentiation and then also making sure that we are hitting all ends of the spectrum. So students that are struggling and also students that may need an extra challenge. So I am going to go ahead and turn over 1.5 of the 1.5 objective to Craig, who's going to talk about technology.
Thank you. At 1.5, we were talking about empowering staff and students to appropriately utilize emerging technologies, and one of the biggest ones that's emerging is looking at AI. So this year we've been looking and working with our Technology Vision Committee. It's encompassed with members of every building, elementary through high school, and we're really focusing on training and learning all of the different technologies that are out there, but more importantly, the ones that we can use. We are a Google school system, so Gemini is obviously one of the big platforms, but we also are getting Magic School AI for free this year, so that's another platform that we've been using. We are part of a consortium that works to create and procure secure data privacy agreements, and those are a new mandate that we have to follow. And we have to make sure that the companies and the products that we are using are all data privacy driven, protecting our students and all of our staff and our school districts' data. So there's a lot of information, there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of pieces of software that we can use as adults, but are not appropriate for schools. So it's also educating our staff and differentiating what tools are appropriate and how we use those tools in school. So that's what we've been working on this year, is getting training on that, looking at the different platforms, getting data privacy agreements in place and looking at all of those and make sure that people are aware of those, and then looking forward, providing training to our staff. So we have, we've just had at our previous Staff and Service Day, somebody come in to give us some training on Notebook LM, Gemini. We also have somebody coming in October for our All Staff in Service Day who's going to be doing more all-day sessions. And on top of that, we're going to be pushing information out for all of our staff, which then trickles down to all of our students. All of our students that are appropriate to use AI. So we need to embed this into our education, to our curriculum in ways that will enhance learning, not do learning for the students. All right, we are going to move on to Goal 2, which is supporting student wellness with Mrs. Pazitka.
All right. So this goal, as Mr. Sable kind of mentioned, it's not really creating anything new. It's really strengthening our social emotional well-being, our behavior systems, and our school climate across the district. So the first objective is really taking a look at our social and emotional resources that we have available to us through our counselors, our programming, and our partnerships, and making sure that We are assessing those resources and then also sharing what's available to our students, to our staff, and our community partnerships, and making sure that it's understood by everybody and then also accessible to everybody. The resources are wonderful, but if people don't know how to access them, then how good are they? So we want to make sure that they're not only understood but accessible to all of our stakeholders. Our second focus is maintaining the consistency that we have with our student behavior and how we're addressing it across the district. We currently have a framework that we're using for all of our behavior expectations. We want to maintain this clarity and consistency for all of our students across the district from building to building, and provide that clear guidance for our staff and make sure that we're fair in how we're addressing situations from building to building. The next one is looking at our third focus is listening to our staff and students, listening to their voices in the buildings. And this is looking at doing a climate and wellness survey to understand their experience and taking this information and then understanding where the needs are and then creating resources and tools to help us identify what we need to really focus on for them and then respond to those needs for them. And then in 2.4, it's really, this is kind of the cornerstone of our work, to strengthen those adult and student relationships. We know that the research shows that having those strong relationships is what's important for student success. So really leaning into those opportunities of having those advisory programs, mentoring opportunities that promote empathy and resiliency and responsibility, which are really those characteristics that we talk about in A Portrait of an Educator, and providing kind of that whole child approach for our students. So that's really kind of the global approach here in Goal 2, is taking that whole child approach. So I think we're really excited about this work and sharing the progress here in Goal 2. Uh-oh, there.
It's like a never-ending speaker series. All right, I needed to make a joke to break up the air. So I'm Ryan O'Call right now. Just to add another joke. I could stand on the thing, I guess. So in terms of facilities for our work in that goal, the first goal is something we're already doing, but we want to continue that work and build on it, and that's a theme you're going to hear in all of these. But to continue to work with the Facilities Committee to create a master plan that will drive our work with facilities. So we don't do this on our own. We do it with the community and with our Facilities Committee to address the needs based on our shifting community, whether that's enrollment or safety or the requirements that each building provides us. The second one is addressing those needs then, depending on which ones are high need, because again, in a school district, you could use funds for forever. I know Andrew's brought it up in here, like there's a limit to how much money you have, but you could continue to, need things. You could paint in perpetuity around here, right? You could continue to paint, but we have to then take that list from the first goal and then create align that with long-term planning to identify which things we're going to address. And then the third goal is then to create a facilities plan to address the other areas too, because we are about the business of education, but we want to address arts and athletics and the extracurricular facility needs too, and to try to hope to do that with outside funding sources. So can we look at sponsorships and other opportunities to make sure we're leveraging the community as much as possible? And then the fourth objective is we're looking to do this, and once a year we meet with the city, but continue to expand our collaborations with shared services, again, with the goal of fiscal responsibility, but also saving funds as much as we can. And then the fifth goal, most recently, Erin and I attended a meeting where we're monitoring enrollment trends with housing developments so that we can continue to, again, this one kind of weaves through all of these, but we're using enrollment trends to then look at what are the best ways to utilize our buildings, as this board has most recently done. But all of these work together, again, to utilize taxpayer dollars as fiscally responsible as possible, to keep our facilities as up to date as possible. And then I'm going to turn it over to Amy. Who's Amy?
Which one, right? So Goal 4 focuses on strengthening communication, transparency, and community engagement across the district. So the objective of these goals, the objectives that you'll see here, is to continue to improve how we as a district share information and connect with our community. Ensuring that communication is clear, it's accessible, and it's two-way, which is something that we've been working really hard to try to get to, and creating new and different ways to do that so that we can continue to engage people. Some of the key priorities that you'll see in these objectives is to continue to improve communication systems. So information is consistent, easy to access, and reaches all stakeholders, expanding outreach beyond parents to include residents, senior citizens, and community partners. And this is a continuing challenge that we do have. So it's going to be really important for us as a district administrative team to really talk and walk through what that could look like. We talk about transparency and sharing clear information, user-friendly information, specifically about finances, our programming, facilities, and our performance. As you've recently seen, we started doing the Friday Focus on Finances, and we look to continue to do many things like that. And we want to create then opportunities for feedback and dialogue. So this is that two-way communication between our community and the school district. So looking to create advisory groups, be part of advisory groups, do public forums, which we've done in the past. So maybe looking to resurrect that idea, but maybe in a different format. Have listening sessions and regular feedback cycles throughout the community. So Goal 4 really aims to continue to build trust and strong relationships with all of our stakeholders by improving clear, transparent, and two-way communication between the district and our entire community. And now I'll give it back to Chris.
Goal 5 is how we're going to support our workforce in making sure that not only do we recruit a strong workforce, but that we continue to provide them professional development once they're here. So the first objective looks at professional learning we'll provide once staff is within the district and making sure that they have a voice within that professional development. And then the second goal is improving our recruitment and retention. Looking for different pathways to do that, and while we're recruiting and retaining employees, doing that through strong onboarding and mentoring programs, so expanding those opportunities. The third one feeds into what Mina talked about, which is measuring and addressing areas of staff morale and making sure we address those, so through those surveys she discussed with the staff. And then finally, making sure we proactively recruit and meet staff needs through our current educator shortage. So as those change and we come into a shortage in different areas, that we're making sure to meet those needs, sub-shortage, those kinds of things. Next is Dave. Are you coming here?
Okay. The final goal is goal 6, to ensure long-term fiscal responsibility and stability. Our first objective, we look to strengthen the transparency that we have through communications. I know Amy mentioned communications. We try and tie that in. The communications that comes out of her department helps our department be more transparent, as she spoke about on Friday Focus on financials. We're also looking at our monthly reports, getting those to be more community friendly. We're looking at our forecasts. If you haven't noticed, over the last 2 years, we've tried to get away from the numbers on the forecast and look more towards what is important to not only you as a board member, but to the community itself. So that's our first goal. Our second one is to continue advocacy. Mr. Sable is going down to the state. Mr. Sable is working with BASA. He's working with the Alliance. I'm working with the Alliance also on their legislative aspects. Also with OASBO and OSBA. Those are different entities that we both go to, and we both work hard to advocate for not only our school district, but school districts throughout the state. So that is our second goal itself, trying to advocate for the schools and do what's best for the schools to help the state legislators realize that, as was stated before, we are the hub of communities. And that's what we want them to understand when they're putting out this legislation that at times seems to be against school districts. And finally, our third, maintain fiscal stewardship. We try and do this, or we look for this every time we have a new objective coming out. Every time Craig is looking at technology, he's looking for the best thing that his money could spend. It's not the most new item or the item that is getting all the play. It's what is best for the school district, what's best for the students of the school district. But everything that is spent in this district, we look for how it could affect not only our students, but how it affects our bottom line. So that's what our goal number 3 is about. So, any questions?
So our district mission, our updated mission, is that Medina City Schools provides engaging and meaningful learning experiences that empower every student to grow as a lifelong learner, explore their passions and pathways, and develop the knowledge, skills, and character needed for future success, which is outlined throughout this plan. And the vision directly from our Portrait of a Bee is Medina City Schools will prepare students to innovate, think critically, communicate effectively, collaborate with purpose, lead with integrity, and demonstrate resilience, equipping them to succeed and make meaningful contributions in a changing world. This plan is not on the agenda for approval tonight. The plan is to recommend it to the board at our April regular meeting for board approval. It does not go into place until the board approves it. A month seemed appropriate to have an opportunity to digest and provide any potential further feedback.
Will this presentation be part of these notes for this meeting, or be posted on this, so if the public or anybody wants to see it?
It will. We'll put it on our website, and the strategic plan final draft is also attached to this agenda.
Before we go on, are we going to have the results of the surveys on our website?
We are, if they're not already. Yep. And last item tonight is committee updates. Tina, you are our lone soul.
Okay, so at our curriculum committee this month, we talked about adoptions that are coming up for next school year. One of the things that they looked at was a list of books that our ELA teachers would like to use with students in next year. Every year they submit new books if new books come across their desk that they think kids would enjoy, and that's something that our committee looks at. So that's one thing. And then another was the science adoption. We had our curriculum coaches come and present, and our assistant director, Sarah Jackson, presented about the science adoption that we're going to have for grades 4 through 8 next year. And you will see that next month on the board agenda for a first review. And while I'm up here, I wanted to mention 2 other quick things. First, we had our Portrait of Practice last week. And that was really, we had a really nice turnout. It was a very nice evening. We had probably about 40 or 50 staff members come out with their students to show the amazing things that are going on in our classroom. Thank you to those of you who were able to come, because I hope you felt like it was a great experience too. And then the other thing that I wanted to let you know was that all 5 of our elementary buildings received the Governor's Science of Reading Champion Award. And that is really a big achievement. So I wanted to thank our elementary principals and our elementary staff for working so hard. They did a lot of professional development on the science of reading, and they worked really hard to implement it. And that award was well deserved. And I think if you go into any of the buildings in the next couple months, you'll see a big banner that says so. So thank you.
And to add what Tina shared as well is we've been asked by the state to be a spotlight district in the upcoming literacy workshop. So we're being recognized at the state level for the great work that's happening, especially at our elementary buildings with literacy, which says a lot with what a big focus it is right now in the state of Ohio. Thank you.
Mr. Chambers, the Treasurer's Report.
Okay, I'm back here. We're looking at February's financials. I always try and start at the beginning. We had the $41 million in July. We're going to start in July again because everything compares to where we started and where we're ending. With revenues, $72 million have come in and $69 million have gone out since July. And then our ending balance is, at this point, $40,900,000. With our revenues, we had total revenues of the $72 million. This is 62.8% of what we anticipate on our 5-year forecast. Our real property taxes, we collected $44 million. This is 24%, I want to say this, 24% lower than we were last year at this time. And the major reason about this is that tax bills went out late from the county auditor, or county treasurer's office. What we should be looking at, and I'll point it out when we get to our true days cash, is that we should be looking at that number being approximately $6 million higher than last year at this time. So we are really low in our collections. The county auditor is low in getting us money at this point. State Foundation, $12,800,000. It was at 4.8% year over year in January. It's still at 4.8%. We get to our expenditures. Our total expenditures are at $69 million. It's sort of amazing. Our total expenditures and our total revenue are at the same percentage of where we are looking at on our 5-year forecast at this point, at 62.8%. Our personnel services, $38.3 million. This is 2.5% above last year at this time. And then our benefits, $15 million, is 13.2%. And again, I have to remind you that our benefits went up, our healthcare benefits went up 18%. So we are running very close to where, well, we are running behind where we were projecting with our healthcare benefits, but we're running close to where our projections are with the forecast. And then our other expenditures, $9 million. This includes purchase services, supplies, and capital. And as you can see, we're only $78,000 above where we spent last year at this point. And here's your look at both your revenues and your expenditures if you like pie. That's a pun for the other day. If you like pie. So 61% is our real property. And again, that is low compared to where we should be at this point. And then you have 61% in personnel services, which is where I was talking about. We are very close in what we came in with our local revenues as compared to our local expenditures. Our investments are doing well. We're $164,000 above where we were last February, which is good because last year was our largest collection for investment purposes. So right now we're at $1.5 million. And finally, our true days cash. If you look at that blue line for February, that blue line should be above that yellow line, should even be approximately close to or a little bit above the red line at this point. But this is what the lack of collections to the district is doing at this point. So March we have gotten a larger fourth advance. So hopefully by the end of March, we will see that the blue line, which represents the current year, will be above both the yellow line and the red line, because we just passed that levy back in November of 2024. And then I want to give you a Friday focus. This was put out just this past Friday for those of you who didn't see. This is talking about the property tax shift. And the reason for this property tax shift is the district was collecting on tangible personal property. And then the state removed tangible personal property from all property taxes for our businesses. And the state was reimbursing the districts for their loss, but the reimbursement was supposed to be reduced over a 10-year period. Well, the reimbursements, after about 5 or 6 years, the state said, we're just going to take it all. And you could see the amount of monies that we have lost on here. In 2011, we were above $11 million in tangible personal property plus homestead rollback reimbursements. Now we are down to just over $5 million. So that shift from legislation has caused a $6 million loss to the district on a yearly basis, basically. And that's why when we're talking about legislation and how it's hurting school districts, this was a piece of legislation that occurred back in the early 2000s that has hurt the district ever since. So, and finally, I've said this before, everything that I give to the Board of Education is out there on the website. So if you want to take a look at it, we have our financials going back to 2000 and I believe it's 2020, 21 at this point, but you could ask and we have it going back to 2014. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. Okay, we're on to board communication. So would anybody like to start? Sorry? No. All right, Mrs. Pritchard.
All right, he's picked up his pen already. Congratulations to the students of the month for March, Haley Getz and Silas Sundermeyer. Senior gymnast Anna Shork was at the state gymnastics meet, I think a week ago. She finished second in bars, fourth in all around, fifth in the floor and the uneven parallel bars. Congratulations to Leah Andrews, who placed third in the from the County Art League for a scholarship and won the Library's Choice Award. Last Wednesday, I attended the Root Choir concert. Very entertaining. The kids did a nice job. Thursday, I went to Mrs. Idabrew's class to see Hamlet. And then later that night, I went to Portrait in Practice, which was very nice, and the kids did a nice job presenting everything. I would like to remind everybody that this Saturday, Jazzmatazz starts at 5 o'clock. There's great music and also great food. April 17th, 18th, and 19th, Hadestown, the Teen Edition, is the high school musical. Also, this Saturday from 11 to 3 at the Old Firehouse on the Square, there is an exhibit by the Historical Society featuring Medina schools and the girls' basketball teams of 76 and 77 that went to the regional finals. Saturday morning at the Career Center, there is a breakfast by the Diesel Tech program from 8:30 to 11:30. And it's just whatever amount of money you want to donate. And then next week also at the high school and elementary schools, they will welcome shuttle astronaut Bruce Melnick. And I would like to thank Linda Bowers for arranging all this for us. And then one passing to note, longtime high school Spanish teacher Linda Horvath passed away last week, and her funeral is Friday. Thank you.
Mr. Herrick?
Yeah, I don't have much to share. congratulations again to Cliff Nicholson for winning state. And I have like an obligation, I think, to mention that the boys lacrosse team kicked off their season with a big win this weekend over Riverside, 19-9.
Okay, Mr. West or Mr. Early?
I don't have a lot, but I do. We had for those who don't know, I studied physics and astronomy in college. That was my educational background. We had a very interesting astronomical event today. I did not get to hear it, but I heard about it, that there was a couple loud booms, and I thought I over northeast Ohio, and it turns out we had a meteor come in over Lake Erie from the north, from Canada over Lake Erie on a northwest to southeast trajectory, and it exploded at about 30 or 40 miles above Lake Erie. It exploded and continued on that trajectory, and right now they're projecting that the landing zone would be somewhere here in Medina County, all over Medina. They haven't really determined that yet, but some stats I was able to pick up. I just thought this was kind of fun. It came into the atmosphere at about 40,000 miles an hour, which is about 50 times the speed of sound, and it weighed about 8 tons and was about 6 feet in diameter. And it exploded, which probably means it's some kind of a rocky style meteor. And it released about 250 tons of TNT equivalent in energy. But it exploded because as it comes into the atmosphere, it builds up a huge pressure wave in front of it, and the pressure gets so high it just blows it up. So look around in your yards. If you find some kind of little strange looking rock that doesn't necessarily look earthly, I'd pick it up, put it in a Ziploc, and maybe go find somebody a little more knowledgeable. But I thought that was a really interesting little tidbit that happened today, if you hadn't heard of it. It kind of goes with our solar eclipse a few years ago here in Northeast Ohio. I just thought that was a little interesting trivia, so that was my report.
I just have a couple of things. So Gina and I went to curriculum committee. The main thing that we did was look over the new science materials. We had a really great presentation from the curriculum specialist going over kind of the new materials and how it'll change the way they teach science and provide a lot of support for the teachers. And then there was no policy committee this month. And then I didn't have a legislative meeting this month because it hasn't happened yet. I have been working on a draft legislative platform for the district using OSBA guidelines that I'll share with everyone when it's done. I'm just worried about typos. I attended the Second Baptist Black History Month celebration where the Claggett Choir performed, and that was a really great. It was a really great evening. They told the story of the Porter family and shared a lot of history, local Black history of Medina, and it was just a really incredible story. And they live streamed it on their Facebook page. So if you go back to a couple weeks ago, it was I don't remember what the date was, but anyways, it was a couple weeks ago on their Facebook page, and they have a streaming of the celebration. I went, and then I went home, and I immediately made my husband watch it. So I know it's there, but I encourage everyone to check it out and hear this incredible local story. Also, Miss Knox did a wonderful job with the Claggett Choir, as she did last week. Also, we had the Claggett Choir concert at the PAC. She runs a tight ship. She gets them in, she gets them out. You see your kid, they do a great job. She makes them look real good. The same evening, we had Portrait to Practice, which Miss Cassidy already mentioned. It's one of my favorite things that we've started doing. It's really incredible to see what's going on around the district, especially being able to see what's going on at different elementary schools, since we have 5 of them and you can only experience, so much at your home elementary school. There was the Wait Kids have a student council that they've developed, and that was really just incredible, student-led, with these committees for recycling and tutoring and cleaning up the school. And this was just, all of interest to the students. And it's just really incredible what's going on over there. And there was a lot. I only made it through about a third of the booths because I probably talked too much, but just because everything was so interesting. And then I also had the opportunity to attend the Blake 5th grade Renaissance Fair that Mrs. Gasick hosts, and I was in charge of the soap carving station. So all the students received soap that they then used their imaginations to come up with their own statues, like in, Renaissance era statues. It was funny. And they had a good time, though, coming up with what to carve and then actually carving the soap. And, and then there were a couple of other stations where Mrs. Gasick did dancing. And then they also had paper airplane models, and they were testing to see which ones were better. And then I also went to Root for the medical detectives clinic with Mrs. Tubner, and that was a lot of fun. You go in and you get to be a patient, and you've got a backstory, and the students have to diagnose you. So they're doing the exam, they're asking you how you're feeling, what's going on, and then at the end of everything, you get your diagnosis. And it was they did a really good job. I mean, it's a really cool class. So my daughter actually was just in medical detectives at Claggett. So I went home and I told her, I was like, yeah, I went to Root, I did medical detectives. And she was like, we did not do that. So she was like, that sounds like a lot of fun. They had cards and stuff where they did something similar, but they didn't have live patients to work on. So that's just something really cool that they're doing over at Root. And then the only other thing I had, Jean already mentioned, was that Jazzmatazz is this Saturday. So thank you.
Y'all stole my band thunder. All right, so go to Jazzmatazz. It is so much fun. I went last year and unfortunately have another thing to go to this Saturday, so I cannot make it, but I will tell you, it is a great time at Jazzmatazz. So I just want to give shout out again to Cliff Nicholson, Tegan Gilmore, and Dominic DeFilippo, because they did just such a great job. And I was just impressed on, what all was set up here. So that was great. Wanted to also shout out to the Medina County Career Center culinary, well, it used to be called Culinary Arts, Chef and Restaurant Culinary competition at the Lorraine Community College. Dominic Matera, who is a senior, Tucker Guinan, Brandon Marinas, and Natalia Bain all did very well. And otherwise, I did go to the Portrait to Practice. I really wish it was longer. I know those kids get tired and antsy, especially the little ones, but I really, just like Miss Julie said, I really enjoy talking to the kids. I love to hear their stories. I love to hear them explain, and that's one of my things that I like to enjoy, going to each table and having each of them explain what they're doing. And I really wish more of the community would have been able to come out to see this. I know our first Portrait to Practice, we had a lot of people come. And I didn't see as many this time, and I'm sure there were several things going on as well at the high school. So I just wish it would last longer. But again, I did notice the kids were getting a little antsy-pantsy. I also was able to go see Hamlet and Macbeth on the first day that they had it in our English Lit classes, and that was so neat to see. And the Great Lakes Theater comes in. We have worked with them, and they really get the kids very interested in this. I wish I had it when I was back in school, because I'm sorry, but Macbeth and Hamlet just did not excite me at all. And I really, while I was watching it, I'm like, now I understand. So this is such a great thing that we have bringing in. So I appreciate that. All right, moving on. And my iPad is not doing that. All right, do we have any public comment? I am seeing a no. Anybody? Oh, we do have somebody that would like to come up. So I'm going to read this off while you come up. So community members wishing to address the board are asked to abide by the following guidelines. Attendees shall register their intention to comment in the public portion of the meeting upon their arrival at the meeting. After those that have registered have spoken, if time allows, the board president will ask for public comment from all other attendees. Please state your name, address, and affiliation. Please keep comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic unless all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard, and all statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No person may address or question board members individually.
Thank you. I'll be quick. Ken Dorsnick with the Medina Athletic Boosters. We spoke at the last meeting. I just want to let you know it's kind of a historic day, as we talked about with wrestling, the Meteor, and we also have some history happening as well in spring sports. So we're starting girls flag football. I think many of you know about that. They approached us the last meeting we had, and they asked for a donation. Obviously, they're a starter sport. The athletic budget is only so much, and so they needed some help with transportation. I just would like to let everyone know that we're actually donating $1,800 to cover their transportation for this year, just to get them off the ground. It's a very exciting time. There's a lot of ladies that are going to be playing football. The NFL is very involved with this, and we certainly wanted to show the support. And from the support that we gave, there's another group, and I'm not going to say who that is, that also gave a donation that will cover all their expenses for this year. I just wanted to report that and let everybody know about that. But thanks for all your support, and go Bees.
Thank you. All right, moving on. There isn't anybody else, right? All right, moving on, the treasurer's financial report.
Yes, if it please the board. Oh, thank you. If it please the board, I wish that it's my recommendation the board approve items G1 and G2 of the treasurer's financials.
Do we have a motion to accept items G1 and G2?
I'll make a motion to approve items G1 and 2.
Anybody second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Drewley and Mr. West. Any questions? Nope. All right, you may do roll call.
Ms. Drewley.
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Mr. Hare.
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard.
Aye.
Ms. Smoyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, action items, Superintendent.
It is recommended that the Board of Education approve action items H1 through H6 as presented in the consent agenda. A couple things I want to point out in these items. I want to thank the Drewleys for their donation to Blake to support students and student programming. Also, we have a resolution for the Ohio School Council. It's a consortium that we participate in an effort to reduce our costs by collaborating with other districts across the state to give us purchasing power. And last but not least, I'm going to ask Brittany to stand. Brittany is on our agenda twice tonight, both for a resignation as associate principal at Medina High School, where she's served for the last 3 years. She is also on the agenda as a recommendation to be the new principal at AI Root Middle School. I was just in a meeting with her this afternoon before the board meeting, and she introduced herself as the interim Root principal, and I told her, hopefully, following board approval tonight, she will no longer need to say that. She can present herself as the principal. I'm really proud of Brittany and the work that she's done this school year. I asked her to go into a difficult situation, taking over a building as a new head principal after the school year has already started. And she has just done an outstanding job in working with the Root staff, getting to know the Root staff, and moving them forward with district and building initiatives. Dr. Kwolek and I had the opportunity to go over to Root last week and present her recommendation that we would be providing to the board, and they gave her an ovation. And I think that speaks volumes to her leadership, especially because she's been doing difficult work there. It hasn't been just getting to know people. It truly has been moving the building forward. Thank you.
And another ovation. Wonderful. All right. Do we have a motion to accept superintendent action items 1 through 6?
I'll make that motion to accept superintendent action items H1 through H6.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. West and Ms. Pritchard. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple comments because I know these people. On the retirements, Cindy Bishop, who's leaving Ralph Waite, I believe she started at Blake. I remember when she and her family moved into the district, I had her 2 boys on the golf team, and her middle boy went on to play at Cleveland State. I think she's retiring because she has so many grandchildren to take care of and to visit. Rob Thompson at the high school, language arts teacher. I think he's known as Mr. Flannel over at the high school, but he will be missed. He's taught in many countries and many states, and he brings an interesting perspective. And then Jill Gordon, who is at Eliza Northrop now and was at Garfield for a long time as an intervention specialist. I had Jill in school. I had her son on the golf team, and she will definitely be missed. Just an outstanding family and a real credit to the Medina City school system. That's it.
Okay, Mr. Chambers?
Mr. West?
Yes.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Ms. Drewley?
Aye.
Mr. Hare?
Aye.
Ms. Moyer?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. We will be moving into executive session to consider the appointment, the employment, or compensation of a public employee or official. We will also be talking or discussing the preparation for or conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with employees. Do I have somebody to move for us to go to executive session?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. West and Mr. Pritchard. Mr. Chambers?
Mr. West?
Yes.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Ms. Drewley?
Aye.
Mr. Hare?
Aye.
Ms. Moyer?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful night.